Okay, yes. Yes, okay. I mean, the homework I had to do was related to a complete like
And it's
uh
analysis. Then it's analysis first. Yes.
okay, I don't have it here. Sorry.
Oh,
Can
but
I
tell me,
I
how was
don't
the
remember that.
experience? Like the experience, do you want to take a look of your answers?
Yeah, because I don't remember. I did it. I mean, you told me to do it and I did it like 2 days later, so I can't remember that.
Okay, say. So this is your needs analysis. Describe your strengths as a teacher. You mentioned
Oh,
that you are very optimistic, you're very creative, and you have like a positive attitude all the time that helps you a lot with your students. That's
yes.
one of the things that you mentioned. You mentioned you have ADHD. Is that right? Like, with a
Yeah,
certification?
yes. I discovered that like 2 months ago. Yeah.
Really? Did you
It was
did
a
you
big
take a test?
surprise.
Did you take a
Yes.
test?
Yes, I started with my psychologist first, and then I went to the neurologist. I don't know how to say that word, neurologist.
Neurologist, yes.
Yes. So now I'm taking medication. I'm trying this medication.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. So it has been a big surprise for me, all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you find out?
Yeah, because I was started to read. I was started to reading a book related to ADHD. I started to read it
Oh,
because of my students. So
okay.
I bought that book because I thought, okay, I need to know this because I have students with ADHD. And then
Okay.
while I was reading, I was like, oh my God, this is me. Then I went to, I mean, I followed the process. I went to the psychologist and then she made a test for me. And yes, I had ADHD.
The
Like
next
it's a
thing
combination. Yeah.
it's that you mention it as your strength. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I thought always that I had like a superpower. And then I realized that it was the ADHD,
Right?
and which is related with creativity. I have a lot
Nice.
of creativity, especially when I plan my classes and all that. And
Okay.
then I realized it was because of that.
Oh, great. That's great. What an interesting book.
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
It's called Mentes Dispersas.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I'll
yeah,
read.
it was. Yeah, so I mean, it was a big surprise. I was like a bit shocked at the beginning
Uh-huh.
because it was like I was living in a lie all the time. But then I realized that this is something good. I know it.
Exactly.
Then I can understand better my students. So
Yes,
that's why,
that's
yeah,
true. That's true. Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. I like it because
yeah,
I try to experiment something that you mentioned, that feeling like your students. That's very
yes,
important because that empathy that you develop helps you a lot as a teacher. I learned to speak German because I wanted to feel how a language student felt when the teacher started to speak in English. So I
yes,
felt really frustrated because my German teacher talked to me like simple things and I couldn't understand anything. So feeling like my students helped me a lot to regulate that aspect of teaching when you start like speaking to your students and sometimes it's not really friendly, it's not nice for them. So we
mhm,
think because we feel like everyone speaks English. You have
yeah.
all the time that sensation that everyone's going to understand, but that's not true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I realized because for example, in year 10, I have a student who has ADHD.
Uh-huh.
And at the beginning of the year, because I met him at the beginning of this year,
Okay.
and he was, oh my God, he was walking around the class all the time. He couldn't sit. He always want to be out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, outside the classroom. And at the
Okay.
beginning, I mean, between April, June, and all those months, I was a bit frustrated because, oh my God, how you can work, you can do the simple tasks.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I said that in my mind, but
Yes.
then I was just reading the book, and now I can understand him better. And now As I changed my methodology with him,
Okay.
he is working better and he's now a very good student.
Oh,
Now he work very good, and I told him, like, if you want to go out sometimes of the classroom, just do it. If you want to go to the toilet, just go, don't ask me.
okay.
And
Great.
those simple things help me to I mean, help him to work better in the English classes.
Nice. Nice.
Mhm.
That's great. Great idea. I think that reading that book opened your mind. So
Yeah.
excellent. Okay.
Yes.
So you also now it makes a lot of sense to me your idea to improve your lesson planning because you need to adapt and make all that structure in your mind and have like a global vision about what's going to happen and have something more predictable for your teaching
Yeah.
practice, right?
Yeah. That's true. Yes.
Right. And also something that worried you about in this needs analysis that I could notice is that you would like to incorporate in your lesson plannings the four skills in order to uh, finish the year like doing something more like going through all the strategies and all the skills and not just focus on reading on writing. You would like
Yeah.
to do it in a balanced way, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because when I read the national curriculum, I realize they ask you to do all of the four skills.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I'm going through the classes, I realize that I can't do all what they ask to do.
Exactly.
Because, for example, I don't know, maybe in I mean, year 11, year 12, they ask you that the students have to I mean, write essays, for example, but they don't even know how to do it in Spanish.
Exactly.
So it's very frustrating. So with my colleagues, we agreed to plan I mean, a format for everyone.
Okay.
Like, so for example, the language teacher has a format, for example, for essays. So
Okay.
we are trying to apply all that for my English classes, for science, for all that.
Okay.
So we have to see if that works, but I hope it will work.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, together in this part of the program, we are going to work on that. And I'm really happy because you already focused and you already know your goal. So I think that we're pretty clear about that, that it's
Yeah.
lesson planning, doing something global, doing something uh measurable, like
Mhm.
according to the context that you have and how to fit the national curriculum because uh, that is something very challenging because
Yeah.
you see that they ask you and you see the textbooks for example that they are very advanced. They ask you for students making 16 interactions in a dialogue, which is
Yeah.
very difficult now. So but we can make it step by step, and the idea is to take that curriculum and take the context and make it work, both of them.
Yeah.
You see?
Good.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So what things got your attention about doing this? Have you ever done an its analysis before?
Yes, I mean, the name I didn't know that it was called like needs analysis, but I have took different courses from Pia, so it was something like that. So I had to complete like the context of my students and all stuff. So it was similar, so it wasn't difficult to complete.
How did you feel when you were working on this?
Um, I mean, I feel good because I can be more conscious about my own teaching and the students' learning of the language. So yeah, it's like a okay, stop, think about them. So I have to think about them, and then it helps me a lot because when I was planning some activities for next week, for example,
Mhm.
I thought about that.
Okay.
So, okay, my students had this context. So remember that, don't forget that, and plan the activities related to that. So yeah, it was very helpful to plan my activities for the students.
Nice, because when you do a needs analysis, sometimes you realize that you have this professional development need, and
Mhm.
sometimes when you are working through that and reflecting to that, you realize that you don't do it all the time.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
and
something
also, sorry,
special, personalized for you. This is your needs analysis, Genoveva's needs analysis, and it's unique. It's your
yeah,
essence in this document. What do you think about
yeah.
that?
Yeah, I think the same. And also it helps me to put the names so to the things I do during my classes. So for example, I try to do a lot of games for my students, and then I realized that okay, this is like a aprendizaje basado en juegos, for example, something like that. Or
Mhm.
this is a PBL or something like that. So I am able to put the name
Great.
to those methodologies.
Nice, nice. And it's something personalized and unique because this needs analysis is not going to be the same as any other teacher. So the action plan that we're going to create is just for you. All
Yeah.
this mentoring program is just for your needs and your questions and your concerns about curriculum, about teaching. So this is the aim of this tool.
Yeah.
You use it with your teachers because you're also a coordinator.
Yes. Not really, because in this case, okay, I am the coordinator, but I just have meetings on Mondays about
Okay.
what we are going to do during the week. So I have to give that information to my teachers from high school.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's all. That's the intervention, because we have a head of coordination could
¿Jefe
be.
o jefe de coordinación?
Yeah, jefe de coordinación. Yeah,
De
in charge
inglés.
of curriculum. No, no, no. About, yeah, de todas las asignaturas. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have
So
like a technical approach to your teachers.
no, no. But they ask me things that I mean, I know things, so they ask me how to do it and all that. But I'm not in that place to give them, I don't know, instructions to do something.
Oh,
But just suggestions. They ask me sometimes, and I just give them suggestions about how can I do this. What do you think about this? And all that. And that's all. Yeah.
okay, you're not like the organizer of the curriculum of English in your school. You are more like a leader, a pedagogical
Yeah.
leader in your group of teachers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they also expect you to know things because they named you with that role because you may know other things and you are like a very motivated teacher, right?
Yeah, yeah. And also, in this case, I mean, my school, it's like 450, no, 450 students, more or less. And this high school is not really big.
Hmm.
We are just starting with some new ideas,
Okay.
innovations, and all that. So we are just starting.
Oh,
Yeah. Probably in a few years, we're going to be able to do more things, but we are going there.
okay. Great, great. Okay, so in this part, you are very critical about your
Yeah.
your teaching practices. Why is that?
Oh, I don't know, because I think that all the time we need to improve things, because yes, you can say that yeah, this is good, but sometimes, I mean, in my case, I always want to be better.
Okay.
So that's why I'm always critical about my teaching and everything. But I don't think that it's something bad.
No, I
Mm,
like it. I like it a lot because if you would have marked all of them perfectly well, I wouldn't have any mission with you in the
Yeah.
program. So that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that's why, because I always want to learn, and I know that I'm not an expert, but I want to be maybe in the future.
Okay.
So that's why I am studying new things, and I'm learning all the time.
Okay.
And this is something that I have I can pass to my students,
Okay.
that even though you are a teacher, you never have to stop learning. Never.
That's true. That's definitely true. You will
Yeah.
never know everything about teaching.
Yeah.
It's impossible, maybe.
Yeah.
Genoveva, if I ask you a question, you already know that in the program, we are going to plan 2 lessons, and we also are going to observe and watch a video about your lessons. Do
Mhm.
you have any other evidence that you can share with me so I can know how are your teaching practices?
Yeah, maybe pictures or videos of some activities that sometimes we have to do it to share in the school, the high school social media.
Nice. And good, please.
Yes.
Uh,
So
that
I
would
try to.
be
Sorry.
That would be great if you can share with me those videos.
Okay. Good.
And what about your lesson plans? Are you able to send me your lesson plans so I can take a look at them?
Yes. I mean, yeah, I have it on Excel. I have the, yes.
Show me one right now? Or is it
Okay.
to maybe one from last month or something like that? So we
Okay.
can take a look.
Um,
Are you able to share
Here it
some?
is. So I have two Excels. The one is for formative assessment,
Okay.
and the other one is related to my planning.
Okay. Let's
I'm going to show you my planning first. Mm, where is it? Oh, I don't know how to share it. Mm, mm, this one. Okay, this is it. So, for example, this is for eighth grade. I have the day.
Mm-hmm.
This is my problem. The goals, because
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning I try to use them, but then while during the days, during the months, I am not doing it. I'm not writing it down here.
Okay.
So, for example, here, yeah, the first part. This is like a welcome part with a game, always with a
Okay.
game.
Nice. Great.
Yeah, and then the next one, I try to keep this goal like, okay, I identify, or for example, reactivar or listen to. But then, as you can see, when I continue here,
Is your school format or this is your personal design?
mine, yeah, this is mine. We don't have like I mean, we have a format, but I don't think it's very useful,
Okay.
because yeah, they ask us at the beginning of the year to send them some a format of that,
Yeah.
but I don't use it because it's too wide.
Great.
It doesn't work for me.
And what about Excel? Do you prefer Excel or Word?
I try them both. Last year I used Word, but I didn't like it too much. So now I'm using Excel, and I think it's more friendly for me,
Okay, great.
this part. So for example, yeah, I have the quizzes, for example, or I don't know, identificar, for example, identify. And I know that the main goal is to identify something that I explain here.
Great, great.
Yeah.
Excellent. Please
And
send me your videos of your activities. And this is a great complement to what I was expecting about
mm,
lesson planning, because I think that the proposal or the project that I'm going to present to you, it's going to fit perfectly well. Okay, so Genoveva,
mhm.
what do you think? You mentioned lesson plan is our goal, right? We are going to create an action plan. We are going to observe classes. What do you think is the goal of this mentoring program if you would have to build it?
Okay, a goal for me, it would be to combine the four skills first.
Okay.
I don't know if I can do it like the four skills at the same time,
Mhm.
or maybe one class and then the other skill, the other class. I don't know. So I need to know how to do it for my type of students.
Nice, nice,
Yeah,
great.
because sometimes, for example, I don't remember year 9, year 10. I can't remember. For example, we are working with adjectives describing people and all that, and now I realize that they are very good at it. They can identify the words, they can use the word, say the word, but I don't think they are very good at writing.
Okay,
They use a lot of Google Traductor.
okay.
So I need to know how to be friend of Google Traductor. So because I know I can tell them to
Read
stop
it.
using it, because no, it's a tool that they need
Exactly.
to use it and learn how to use it. And I need to know how.
Have you ever
That's the
used
thing.
Padlet?
Padlet? Oh, no.
Okay. Padlet, it's an app for writing, which is very, very interesting if you would like to work with your students writing, okay? With
Yeah,
very low levels of English. So it works really, really well.
good. Yeah, the
So,
thing is that I realized that my students, I mean, not all of them, but most of them, they feel that they don't have enough vocabulary.
mhm.
So the easy way is to check on internet and do it.
And
So
even
for
in
example,
Spanish, they don't have a good vocabulary. So when
yeah,
they translate something that is already wrong in their own native
yeah,
language.
yeah. So what they do, for example, in year 11, I asked them to do an opinion article.
Okay.
So okay, the main idea is what it was like, choose something you want to talk to. Could be a gossip, could be anything. But yeah, because it has to be something that motivates you to look, I mean, to investigate and write it. But the thing is that, okay, they did it first in Spanish and then they used Google Traductor and then in English. And that's the thing I don't like, because they don't learn
They,
English.
yes, exactly. I understand. Okay.
So I
So,
try to ask them to use vocabulary. Some vocabulary, use it on the text, and that's all.
okay, but that's very approachable because I we share the same vision. It would be not a problem, but a challenge if
Mhm.
we had different visions, but I think that we are on the same page because I think and I believe that students should know how to control and use technology and social networks. So the idea is not to forbid them to use technology or Instagram or other media, but to be responsible about it. Because when
Mhm.
they use it all the time, they are going to do the same in their jobs in the future, with their families. So they, and we as a teacher, we have like a mission to teach them that it's not proper to use your phone in front of the face of the other people, and many and so on, many like codes or social codes that we learn when using a phone. So I think that it's our mission, but not forbidden, and because they would use it anyways. So
Yeah,
I think that's a very good view of this.
mm,
I don't know to call it difficulty, because if you are very, very um realistic about the problem, it's not a problem, because if they go abroad, they will use the translator and it's going to help them, like
uh,
it's going to be very useful for them, and
yeah,
that's wrong. And even us that we speak English use the translator to go around a word, a phrase, and an expression. So I think that we should teach them how to use it correctly, or to empower them to take the most of them.
yeah. I mean, the previous weeks I asked my students for year 10 to make a reel describing people or describing
Okay.
things. So the idea was to use the adjectives in the correct order, like
Mm.
opinion, size, and all that. But some of them were looking on internet, like
Mm.
the whole sentence. But I was
Oh,
like, okay, stop. You know how to do this. You have the worksheet. So come on, do it. So
that's
I taught them how to do it, and then they did it. And the product was very, very good. I mean, some mistakes, but they did it by themselves.
yeah, it should be chunks,
So
like little words. So it's
yeah,
progress. That's progress.
yeah. So that's why I try to do it step by step, like little steps. But they are doing it.
Great. So here's your reflective portfolio. Have you
Mhm.
ever done a reflective portfolio? What do you think about this aspect of the mentoring program?
I like it. I mean, when you asked me to do this, I really enjoyed to write about it because you, as a teacher, sometimes you don't have time to stop and think about your own teaching, your own way of teaching, the experience that sometimes you have while doing your classes. So when the question was like, okay, think of a moment, I was like, oh my, yes, I have one, and I wrote it down. So I really enjoy that. I really like it.
Nice. Let's take a look of that picture.
Yeah,
What do I see here? Your students, right?
those are my students of Berkeley. Yes, I mean
No.
that is the half of the students. And it was like as I wrote that there, it was a difficult day because that class was the last class of the day, so it was from 4 to 4:45. So
Okay.
they were always are tired. So that's why I decided to change the idea of the class to make just games to them with them.
And they are
So
very bold.
yeah. So in that part, I mean, that day was a bit difficult because they were angry. They had a problem before my class. The half of the students, as you can see, they are just men. There was just one girl over there, but they had a problem. So it was very, very difficult to, I mean, to make them feel a bit better,
Mhm.
to make them forget about the problem they had, but we could. So we enjoy, we took the picture. I couldn't do the class. I wasn't able to do it,
Wow.
but at least they felt better later.
Great. And now you think about, and the aim of that entry for me, it's to connect with something that makes you feel, or not feel, but to evoke why you are a teacher.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that that's a very important feeling that you should have when you're reflecting, like emotions.
yeah. And also, this that picture is very special because this course is very difficult. Also, last year when they were in year 9,
Mhm.
oh my God, I didn't wanted to go to those classes because oh my God, they were screaming all the time, saying bad words all the time. It was awful. They didn't want to learn.
Mhm.
But now I enjoy to go with them
Mhm.
because they have a lot of personality.
Ah,
So if I ask them to do something, they are like, okay, let's do it. So I really like that.
okay.
Yeah, so I can notice the change that at the beginning I didn't like to go with them, but now, okay, it's fine. I can enjoy the classes with them.
Okay, great, great. So here I want to show you, did you know that there was a reflective cycle or a structure for reflection? Did you know that?
No. Mm-mm.
So here is something called the reflection Gibbs cycle. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
reflection is helpful because it takes you to decide and to understand what you're going through in a better way, to stop and analyze. This is called the Gibbs reflective cycle.
Ah,
So
I remember
first,
now.
now you remember, you
Yeah.
start with a simple description of a moment, of an action. For example, let's pretend that you have had a fight with a teacher.
Mhm.
So the first thing you do is to describe that moment. What
Mhm.
happened? She came to the teacher's room and yelled at me, and you describe the moment, right? Then you talk about your feelings of that moment and you
Mhm.
describe specifically how did you feel about that. Then you estimate and you evaluate what happened. Is it important to me? Is it going to take uh, my my peace, my mind, my thoughts? This situation you
Mhm.
evaluate and you say no, it doesn't matter. It's
Mhm.
the teacher is just like that. Or you say no, she really hurt my feelings and I think she should apologize. For example, you make that evaluation of the moment. You analyze, you break down into pieces the problem, and you think, was it me? Was it her? Was the
Mhm.
context? I didn't have lunch that day, so I was grumpy. What happened here? And you analyze, right? All the aspects of that problem or reality, for example. Then you arrive to a conclusion. So I am not going to fight with this teacher anymore or with this student anymore. I'm not going to do it because it is not helpful. I'm not going to arrive to any situation. So that is my conclusion. And then you make your action plan. You say, so from now on, I'm going to have another attitude with this person. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You see? So when we
Mhm.
work as a teacher throughout the week, we are like in a robot mode. You see, you start deciding, but you don't have the time sometimes to evaluate, or you do all this reflection in your house when you
Mhm.
arrive. So this takes your personal time and shouldn't be like that, you see?
Mhm.
So having a journal helps you to decide in a better way, to analyze better situations and take the best decisions. Because
Mhm.
when we are in pilot mode or robot mode, some things do not go well sometimes
Yeah.
because you end up reflecting during summer vacations or winter break. So it shouldn't be like that. What do you
And
think about?
sometimes it's too late.
Yes, it's too
Yeah.
late. That's one thing.
Yeah.
What do you think about this cycle? Do you like it?
Yeah. And I think that we as teachers, we do it all the time without knowing. So we follow that process. Sometimes we skip some parts, but we do it all the time. But as you said, sometimes we do it at home when it's too late. On some teachers, I mean, it happened to me years ago when I got angry to the students.
Uh-huh.
And now I can realize that, my God, you shouldn't do that because they are the students, they are the kids, you are the adult. So sometimes, yeah, okay, you probably you have a big problem during classes, but then you need to find the moment to try to solve it there at the moment.
That's true.
So I try to do it. I mean, I can say that it works all the time, but I try to, because something that I do, for example, if a student does something, for example, something wrong, something bad, okay, I can tell to this student like, okay, stop it, and they believe that I got angry at them, but I don't. So then it's like, okay, stop doing that. And I got angry and then continue the class. And then I go with them and it's like, okay, are you okay? And they are like shocked, like, oh my God, this person is it angry or not? So
Uh-huh.
I try to show them that I'm angry at the attitude that they had, but not at them. So I try to not condition them with my love in this case, because I love my students.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do something horrible, but I will still love you and teach you and all that. So that's something that I want to pass to my students. I
Okay.
try. I
No,
try to.
excellent. Excellent. I think that's a good example that students lack nowadays, which is being empowered and in control of your emotions.
Yeah.
Because making that difference, it it means that you understand where to put your focus and feelings.
Yeah, that's true. And also sometimes especially this time, students feel that if they do something wrong, they will lose the I don't know, the respect of the teacher, but is that is not true.
That's true.
Probably will be angry at the moment at the thing they did, but that's all. You will still teaching them and loving them and all that.
Excellent. Good. So what's next for our next meeting? What are we going to do? So for next stage,
Mhm.
we are going to create and elaborate the action plan. Okay.
Okay.
So it's going to be very, very interesting. And on this stage, I'm very excited about it because this is where we have these uh, like goal settings that dates and actions and activities very, very well planned in our action plan. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Mhm.
what things would you state or establish in an action plan? What do you think an action plan is?
How to solve something that is not working out?
Yeah,
How
could
to
be
do it? It could be like how to do it.
great. I think that's something. What elements would you put in an action plan? What things?
Mm. Could be related to my own actions in this case.
The
So
goal of the action plan is going to be something that you mentioned. You mentioned your goal. Your goal is to make lesson plans that uh, take all the four skills of language teaching and make it according to your context and how to um, enhance the use of the curriculum in your classes, right? That's your goal. So far, so on. But what elements would you state on your action plan, for example?
probably think about the context of my students, because if I know how, I mean, if I know that I want to combine the four skills, first I need to know what my students know. So then I can decide, for example, what type of text I'm going to use, what type of listening, all related to their interests. So
Okay,
that is related to the context.
yes. And what are the strategies do you think we are going to use to achieve that goal?
Oh my.
That's a difficult question.
That is a difficult one. I don't know. I don't know what to answer to
What
that.
strategies will we use? What do you think?
It could be related to the reflective process because we
Okay.
already done that.
Reflection, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Yes, that's an
a
action that
reflective
we're going
one.
to do to achieve the
Yeah,
goal. What other action?
it could be reflection related to the context of my students. I already said that. Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay, for example, we can do reading articles, could be one, could be watch videos about lesson planning. We can also go
Mhm,
through and explore models of lesson planning. What do you think about those
mhm.
actions? Do you think it will help to achieve our goal?
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, because I want to do something, I don't know how to do it. So first, I need to learn how to do it. And those are the steps, like reading
Uh-huh.
about that, like
Investing,
watching someone else how to do it. Yeah,
right. Observing other teachers doing it
yeah.
could
Mm.
be. So in
It's really helpful.
exactly. So in the action plan, we are going to set the activities that are going to help us to achieve the goal that you are expecting. That is to plan and create a lesson plan that encounters all the language skills and also the content that is related to your students' interest. And to achieve that goal, we need to do little steps
Mhm.
throughout the mentoring program and these months that we are going to work together. So some of those actions and little steps are watching videos, like explore models of lesson planning, review the curriculum. We are going to talk about your student context as well. So that was my question related to. Do you think, is there any other way that you would like to learn or achieve that goal?
Mm. Mm. Yeah, I'm thinking about that. Yeah, could be just mm, probably because I'm trying to think about how I learn better, and you already said that like it was better related to videos in this case, because when I was in the mentoring program, when I started teaching,
Mhm.
I went to like watch a class of my mentor, and I learned a lot of things. Even though it wasn't the age I was teaching at that time,
Mhm.
but I learned a lot the strategies of this the teacher has to the students. So then I copy them and I
Oh,
use them,
nice.
and it was very, very useful to my own classes.
Great. So,
Yeah.
okay, we have the needs analysis. I'm going to post a second entry on your journal. Remember the Gibbs reflective cycle in order to answer your entry. And
Hmm.
I'm going to do the draft of the action plan and I'm going to share it with you before our next meeting. Okay. So
Hmm.
my homework is to do the drafting of the action plan, and your homework is to answer the second entry of the reflective portfolio.
Okay. Hmm.
So we will meet next in 2 more weeks. That it's going to be the 9th of September. Does it work for you?
Yes, yes, of
Okay,
course.
great. So I'm
Yeah.
going to create the meeting right now. So do you like this time of the day?
Yeah, this time is good. Yes. Mm, okay, 9th of September at the same time.
On Zoom. Okay, so make it a Zoom meeting. Great. So now is schedule our next meeting. It was a pleasure to be with you today, Genoveva. I really enjoyed our meeting. So
Yeah, was so.
thanks a lot for completing your needs analysis and your reflective journal with those beautiful words and a very motivated teacher that you are.
Okay, thank you very much to you too for all those words, because it makes me feel better. Yeah, it encouraged me to be better. So thank you very much.
Excellent. Okay, so I will see you in 2 more weeks, Genoveva. Please,
See
if
you.
you have any question, let me know. I'm going to send an email tomorrow or maybe the day after tomorrow, but in between these days. And I'm going to set the points of our meeting and also send you the link to the next entry. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Bye.
See
Have a
you
nice
soon.
week.
Take care.
See
Have
you.
a great week.